The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelleton. A little over 13,000 applicants have been shortlisted from the 48,772 applications for the recent police recruitment drive. Deputy Commissioner of Police and Chief of Administration, Joanne Clarkson, said the final number of the shortlisted applicants is expected to go up once the screening process is completed for the remaining online applications for the rest of the country. She said for 560 positions, this is the largest number of applications ever received for any police recruitment drive. The Catholic Diocese
drive. Deputy Commissioner of Police and Chief of Administration, Joan Clarkson, said the final number will likely increase as they have online applications to look at also. Ms. Clarkson said the interviews will begin the following week for 3,985 applicants shortlisted for NCD, Central and Gulf provinces and will be published in the press this week. Interviews for those shortlisted for NCD, Central and Gulf will commence on Monday 3rd to the 21st of April at the Rita Flynn Court in Port Moresby. The tentative schedules for interviews for other commands take place between May and June this year, at least 2 to 3 weeks. The highest applicants come from the Northern and Border commands, followed by the New Guinea Islands and the Autonomous Region of Bougainville. Clarkson said the final schedule will depend on a number of external factors, including the finalization of the screening of the remaining online applications, as well as the anticipated by-elections. She said 12 selection teams are ready to roll out the interviews. She added that there are 560 positions for both constable and officer cadet positions. It will be a challenge, but selections will be made based on merit. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The Catholic Diocese of Bereina received 10,000 kina to implement the 5-year pastoral plan. The Diocese of Bereina is one of the biggest in Papua New Guinea, with a congregation of more than 100,000 people from 3 deaneries.
Member for Kariko District in Central Province, Peter Isoaimo, donated 10,000 kina towards the implementation of the 5-year pastoral plan of the Catholic Diocese of Bereina. The Diocese of Bereina is one of the biggest in Papua New Guinea, with a following of 148,880 Catholics from 3 deaneries. Bishop Otto Separi acknowledged MP Isoaimo for the support.
To help us that we may follow the pastoral plan, revive our spiritual life in our homes, in our families, in our communities. The pastoral plan is a guide, a roadmap that will help us, that we look at ourselves as a person, as a community. We try to work together, that through the pastoral plan, the Lord will come and give us life again.
Bishop Sapari added that the pastoral plan is a method of new evangelization, the reviving of faith again.
We, the people of Bereina Diocese, should not forget that. Yes, we go and we celebrate. We celebrate the first Mass on the 4th of August every year. It must make us think. It's not just a celebration. We are celebrating our faith, our Catholic faith. We are not just going to put action song and dancing and all everything else and we go home. No. We are going there to celebrate our Catholic faith. It started on this very land. We are calling it Bereina Diocese. We must be proud.
He concluded that the launch of the Catholic Pastoral Plan is not just a booklet, but the work of the Holy Spirit. Jasmine Ero, TV1 News.
Member for Kairuku Open, Peter Isoaimo, is appealing to supporters to be calm about the Court of Disputed Returns for the Kairuku Open seat. Isoaimo has been attending court for the past several months with former MP Paru Aihi, who finished second in the 2021 national election race. Isoaimo was declared the member for Kairuku Open on 30th of July 2021.
Submissions have now been done by the lawyers, and Your Honor, Justice Lisa Berrigan has nominated the 28th of April at 1:30 to hand down her decision. So we'll come back on the 28th of next month to learn of our fate as to whether we remain member or she decides otherwise. But as the sitting member, we will take the matter right to the end. Appeal to everybody. I'm a Catholic myself, so it's time of Easter and Lent, so people should really be calm about the whole court matter. The courts will decide on the evidence as presented already, so we hope for a better outcome.
Women from the Tikana LLG in KVN district have petitioned responsible authorities to address law and order issues relating to women in New Ireland province. The peaceful protest coincided with the celebrations of the National Women's Day held on Friday, 24th March 2023 in KVN.
Women from Tikana LLG in KVN did a peaceful march when commemorating the National Women's Day on Friday, 24th March. They presented a petition to the government for more resources to be pumped into law enforcement so that their safety and well-being is guaranteed. A petition paper was presented by the Tikana LLG Women's Representative Genevieve Chow. The women dressed in black and purple silently marched with banners and placards from the KVN National Courthouse through the main town area down to the market and to the Government Legislative Assembly building.
Walk village starting was strong good. All policy must that logistic from walking or shift walk long town. Now all up where police servicing must stop long several people. Now more and safety from on Mary.
The women presented 10 petitions to the government through the New Ireland Provincial Government, Governor Sir Julius Chen. It included equipping police and courts with resources with adequate funding, enacting the Vagrancy Act, remove settlements in KVN town, build safe houses for victims of gender-based violence, and more.
We play like through by Vagrancy Act, government must enforce him. No province, district, na LNC. This law of vagrancy, it must not tip. The government must not be in the law. Na other sector, no making this law come approve.
Meanwhile, Provincial Police Commander Alex Bailey, who was right behind the women, said firmly that he has zero tolerance of violence against women.
Or man you involved blood like no passing blood rape, no passing any no strength inside the community. But you can big blood, making sorry. I am proud of the government who is taking a bold stand going forward.
Governor Sir Julius Chen accepted the petition. He was pleased to see for the first time women united to make the presentation very, very powerful.
Provincial Commander Mr. Albert, and estamos entendiendo because before opposition was that's why something government so government can talk we can make it policy we can mold him how when we can go about things.
Sir Julius concluded that his government is also working on the Vagrancy Act, which will be applicable to every person living in the province. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
WHO PNG hosted a two-day consultative recently with key stakeholders and partners as part of a process to develop the country cooperation strategy for PNG for the next 5 years. This follows on from one-on-one consultative meetings held over the week with the National Department of Health, key development partners, donors and relevant UN agencies who work closely with WHO to help achieve the country's health agendas.
WHO PNG held a two-day workshop on 23rd and 24th March to develop the country cooperation strategy to help achieve the country's health agendas. In opening the workshop, WHO PNG country representative Dr. Sevel Husenova said the country cooperation strategy is WHO's strategic framework to guide its work within the country in the next 5 years from 2024 to 2028. Husenova said WHO CCS responds to the country's national health and development agenda and identifies a set of agreed joint priorities for WHO collaboration covering areas where the organization has a comparative advantage in order to assure public health impact. Dr. Husenova said that WHO CCS would also outline how it will contribute to the attainment of outcomes in a UN Sustainable Development Cooperation framework being developed for Papua New Guinea. Group sessions were also held to discuss thematic area of priorities where the findings were presented on day 2. This will set the strategic agenda for WHO's cooperation with the government of PNG. Meanwhile, Secretary for Health Dr. Osborne Liko, in his keynote speech, said he was happy to support the process, and through the consultative meetings, he was confident that the CCS would align very well with the National Health Plan in delivering health services to the people. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
Open Nets.
We see you day in, day out, getting on with the job. Coming out on top, because you're not one to back down. From the islands to islands, from the southern to the Momas, we see you, moving heaven and earth to move our country forward. And at the end of the day, we will be there to serve Papua New Guineans who achieve success with the reward they deserve.
Welcome to MotoGP. To be a highly dramatic 18-lap Malaysian Grand Prix Moto2, starting with...
So that's a very decent middle sector for the Alpine. They only have... Oh!
They have crashed! They've gone into each other! What a start for Will Davison. Di Pasquale has been swamped.
Some of the biggest and most talented egos in sailing.
The two-time defending champions make it 2 in a row.
Welcome back. A government cloud policy validation workshop that was held with stakeholders in Port Moresby is part of the government's efforts to promote the adoption of cloud services by government departments and agencies. The workshop gave the understanding on the policy which recognizes cloud services and the benefits for the government. However, certain risks and challenges are also present from the adoption of the cloud services, such as including potential data breaches, lack of interoperability, and vendor lock-in.
As part of the government's efforts to promote the adoption of cloud services by government departments and agencies, Department of Information and Communication Science held a government cloud policy validation workshop last week. The workshop gave the understanding on the policy which recognizes cloud services and the benefits for the government. However, certain risks and challenges are also present from the adoption of the cloud services, such as including potential data breaches, lack of interoperability, and vendor lock-in. To address these issues, the policy seeks to establish a certain level of coordination among government departments and agencies at the national and sub-national levels. Executive Manager of Digital Government and Shared Service Robertson Asari gave an update on the digital government projects and programs, aligning them to the government cloud policy. Asari stated that the government cloud policy aims to use the cloud platform as the primary digital infrastructure to drive digital transformation and innovation for the whole of the government. For over a year now, Asari stated that the draft received feedback from all key stakeholders, both locally and internationally, and incorporate the most effective and tailored models out there. It focuses on 6 objectives: security, consistency and alignment, modernization, procurement, innovation, and optimal commercial outcome. The draft government policy ensures that the government is service-focused and strategically driven while ensuring security considerations are met. It covers the utilization of relevant and appropriate digital technology platforms to increase revenue, deliver public services more effectively and efficiently, and digitally track development indicators in real time. The implementation of digital infrastructure, specifically the government cloud policy, is critical for the delivery of high-quality digital services to citizens. Jasmine Nero, TVWAN News.
Pioneering public servant and former PNG High Commissioner to the UK, Winnie Kiap, said going forward digital technology has to be compulsory. Kiap said this during the networking event co-hosted by Australia and PNG. Kiap stated that education gives you many choices and digital technology today is a vital part in education to access information, innovative ideas and bridge gender gaps.
We Papua New Guineans must have access to that space, access to information, developing ideas, models of behavior, whether political or social, model structures of society, innovation and creativity through digital technology, and the list goes on. The picture on gender gap in technology is not comforting, whether the data is from UN, World Bank, OECD, or individual countries. Depressing that for whatever reasons, women have less access to knowledge of and use of information technology, or opportunities for innovation in digital technology. More so, less opportunity to know what is going on in the world and how life can be easier with access and use of digital ecosystem.
During the networking event co-hosted by PNG in Australia, Deputy Head of Mission to PNG, Joanne Londes, updated women on the work done not only in PNG but in the Pacific region. She shared that so much has been done and that PNG women should be able to be made aware of events as information was key, which is as important as growing and expanding in their networks.
We will be developing a new international gender equality strategy. The Foreign Minister has announced that. We've got a new ambassador for gender equality who a lot of people here will actually know, Stephanie Copus-Campbell. She's now going to be devoting not just time to Papua New Guinea but globally as well, but we're super lucky to have her. The Foreign Minister has also launched a Pacific Feminist Fund, still a bit new, so I need to do a little bit of research of exactly what that will do too. And of course, for those of you who don't know, we've recently launched our new PNG Women Lead program. It's a 5-year program.
The National Forest Authority, in commemoration of the International Day of Forest, planted over 2,000 tree seedlings at Kuriva, Central Province. The NFA is challenged by the government's Vision 2050 to plant 800,000 hectares of trees by 2050. The National Forest Authority, in commemoration of the International Day of Forest, planted 2,400 tree seedlings on Wednesday, March 22, at Kuriva, Central Province. The event was a female-led celebration led by NFA Chair Lady Faith Burton, Chief Operations Officer Magdalene Maihua, and Human Resource Manager Heta Yawas. The tree seedlings were planted on 2.8 hectares of land. HR Manager Yawas, who was the organizer of the tree planting program, thanked NFA Managing Director John Mosoro for supporting the program. Chairlady Burton said this year's theme is Healthy Forest for Healthy People. Burton said the government, through Vision 2050, challenges the forestry sector to plant 800,000 hectares of trees by 2050. Last week, the NFA planted 2.8 hectares of this 800,000 goal. Last week, Papua New Guinea was once again rocked with the news of a black flight used to smuggle 52 kilograms of methamphetamine from a privately owned airstrip in Bulolo, Morbe Province, to Queensland in Australia. Bulolo MP Sam Basil Jr. says, like many Papua New Guineans, he too was shocked when he received this news. Member for Bulolo Open, Sam Basil Jr. expressed shock and concern for his district due to the recent drug bust involving a private airstrip in Bulolo, 5 men arrested in Queensland, Australia, and a Chinese national at the Nadzab airport in Lae, Morbe Province.
Since then, a lot of social media commentary has been made about the operation, and the proliferation of dangerous drugs in our country. I, for one, am deeply concerned that my district of Bulolo was used as a drug distribution point, and I feel no doubt such illegal activities are happening throughout our country.
Internal Security Minister Peter Siamalili Jr. says the covert operation that commenced in November 2022 is ongoing. He says arrests have been made and more are yet to come.
Yumi too, at the same time, only make him arrest Tamlo long Australia. Yumi too be make him arrest here long Najab. So Yumi arrest him pinis, all counterpart long all inside lo country. Na mipla through long all intel blo Yumi walk long make him further arrest.
The minister says the private airstrip in Bulolo was previously involved in a similar case 2 years ago.
Side blue yumi long Bulolo, this la same area na same by me talk the landing strip where this la druggy come out long em. And me associate back then one time this la young man where me been long 2 years ago and me been stopped long same incident. One time company blow this la young man. So Mipla walk long make him intel na, but me can come back long government na people blow me long country because I'm sensitive. You got plenty money. Me stop inside of this la walk only walk long make him.
Meantime, the minister says he will be working closely with the leaders of identified illicit drug hotspots in the country to address the issue.
Side blow me long Bulolo, this la same area na same. By me talk the landing strip where this la druggy come out long em. And me associate back then one time this la young man where me been long 2 years ago and me been stopped long same incident. One time company blow this la young man. So me pla walk long make him intel na, but me can come back long government na people blow me long country. Because I'm sensitive, you got plenty money, me stop inside of this la walk, only walk long make him.
You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more news around the region after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase EasyPay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bungimyumi.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
Right across the nation, we eat snack crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young plan alapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Strong like you, smart like me. I hope they don't break. Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus thread. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
WWE! This is your chance! Swat home! He hit it! Oh no, mommy! Do something! Oh my God! Great shot, a fabulous finish. Johnston! Wales level.
Welcome back. The cost of living crisis is forcing some university students to skip meals and rely on food banks to be able to eat. In Queensland, for instance, QUT's student body says it's seen a 600% jump in the number of students accessing free food in recent months.
Law student Kayla Frost is down to 1 meal a day.
This one's my shelf. Got some bread and cheese in there, so it should last a couple more days, hopefully.
The 19-year-old lives in a share house and works part-time. She says healthy food has been the first to go.
I think I've gone like at least a month before without any kind of vegetables.
The food bank at her Brisbane University is struggling to keep up with demand from both domestic and international students, limiting handouts to 10 items a fortnight.
They are working multiple jobs just to afford rent, food. People are going hungry. People are putting themselves in really risky situations because of this cost of living crisis.
The National Student Union says welfare programs are popping up at campuses across the country.
Students are surviving, that is a great word for it, but they're not thriving.
Here at the University of Queensland, hundreds of students line up 5 nights a week to get access to a free meal. It's an initiative run by the Student Union, and it says demand has tripled just this year. Called the Campus Kitchen, it feeds nearly 2,000 students a week. like these two who've just had their rent go up around $100 a week to nearly $400.
It's like exceeds my budget, and it's keep exceeding and exceeding.
I've heard people skipping out on car insurance or personal medication because they just simply cannot afford to live.
Inflation at the highest rate in 3 decades, making it hard to keep the wolf from the door.
I don't want to let financial stress bring me down, but I guess we'll see.
South Australia has become the first state to establish a First Nations voice to Parliament. A bill to create the body passed in a special Sunday parliamentary sitting, with political leaders hoping it'll help create a national voice.
A wet Sunday morning, but people gathered in their thousands.
For years and years and years we waited, and it's finally happened today on the 26th of March, 23. Everyone's emotional today, Aboriginal people here. It's a proud day.
Excited!
The question before the chair is...
At a special sitting of Parliament, projected out live to the crowd as the state's highly anticipated First Nations Voice Bill was passed.
The ayes have it.
The ayes have
it. On the steps, Westminster traditions mingled with Indigenous language and ceremony.
From today, in this state, their voices will be heard.
There were tears of joy both in the crowd and for the state's Aboriginal Affairs Minister. Under the South Australian model, Indigenous people will vote for representatives who will then be able to speak in Parliament, but won't have the power to vote on legislation. The government hopes it'll send a message to the nation.
It will show people, it will dispel fears about a national body and give people comfort in the lead up to a referendum.
A small number of protesters gathered, but were massively outnumbered by supporters. A rainy day hasn't deterred people from coming here to North Terrace to see the bill pass. But there are some Indigenous South Australians who aren't in attendance, saying they don't support the government's bill.
It is really not a voice that we own. It's a state government voice, it's not our voice.
Among the concerns, it doesn't adequately acknowledge native title bodies, and Aboriginal communities weren't properly involved in the design. Despite planning its own voice process when it was in government, the opposition didn't support the bill.
I've spoken to many Aboriginal people who are concerned about today and the model that is being passed. They don't believe it'll lead to practical outcomes.
The government says it consulted widely and will continue to listen as it defines the regional boundaries for representatives.
Copper theft in Queensland has increased 5-fold, with thieves selling it for scrap metal. Even electricity network is being targeted.
A live electrical pole up in flames on Queensland's Western Downs, sparked by a brazen attempt to steal copper wiring. In the state's far north, copper thefts have increased 5-fold over the past 2 years.
And as soon as the copper goes in, the next morning, bang, it's gone.
James Mort's construction company in Cairns was hit twice in a fortnight. CCTV and security patrols now monitor his new builds.
That cost us probably $300 or $400 a week each site.
In Townsville, thieves caused more than $100,000 worth of damage to this business complex earlier this year.
Enterprising young soul jump up on the roofs and systematically half stole the copper out of our commercial air conditioning units.
Both Energex and Ergon Energy say they've seen a dramatic rise in attempts to steal copper wire from the electricity network over the past 3 years. Police data shows copper theft has increased by 19% in Brisbane, 31% in Moreton Bay and 58% on the Sunshine Coast over the past 2 years. Copper fetches around $7 a kilogram at scrap metal yards, but police warn would-be thieves it's a dangerous way to try to make quick cash.
There is a chance that it may explode, there is a chance that something may occur and that you yourself will be electrocuted.
And that ends the news segment. Taking us to break now is the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. You're watching TV1 News. Sports News is next with Terry Lonboot.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Strong like you, smart like me. I hope they don't break. Now surely Luki's son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus strength. Should I try them on you? No, please. I'll take them. Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want Flame Rice. New Flame Rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Wherever you're watching from, welcome aboard. Joining us on satellite will be TVD. Oh, big hit there. It's got numbers on the outside, and Lucara goes in eventually.
Oh, and they're claiming a try here, the Vipers.
Still going inside ball. This is a beautiful try. This is champagne football here.
Super Rugby Pacific. The pride of the Pacific Islands on display. WWE! This is your chance! Swanton! He hit it! Oh no, mommy! Do something! Oh my God!
Floating ball, Blake Seaver, there it is!
All right, big kick coming up.
Oh, here's the intercept. Got his eyes on the try line, no one's going to catch him, shut the game.
Now the fullback, Mariah, a miracle pass on the outside, defensive caught. Backwards, they play on him, inside ball to a Picky! Lightning speed! He sees the checkered flag in his victory at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
With Tony Arbolino taking his second win in the last 3 Grand Prix.
Handball's good. Away going Oya. It's a kick. It's a goal.
And welcome back. The Moresby South Rugby League Executive Board has finalised dates for the 2023 Moresby South Rugby League season kick-off. The season is now set to commence in the under-20 and men's A grade on the 22nd of April 2023 at the Moresby Southside Stadium.
After confirming the competition start dates and discussions on club affiliations and other requirements,
The Mosby South Rugby League executive is now urging all existing clubs to get affiliated ASAP before the set deadline, which is 21st April 2023. Mosby South Rugby League Secretary Stephen Francis is also reminding all club presidents that the annual general meeting has also been scheduled for April 8 before the commencement of the season on April 21. Francis said all club affiliation of 1,500 for all teams must be paid before the set deadline of April 21. At the Mosby South Rugby League executive meeting, the executive unanimously agreed that season proper will commence with the under-20 and A-grade men's on April 22, with the women's to start at a later date. Chairman Solian added that only teams that are affiliated will take the field in round 1. Players' registration is to be paid before the start of round 3, and only registered players take the field after round 3. Solian said while clubs are being reminded early, they must also show some commitment and responsibility in sorting out all the affiliation and player registration fees before the set deadline. All issues discussed will be brought up in the AGM on April 8, with other matters of concern for the season 2023. Solian said Mosby South is an affiliate of the PNG Rugby League and has met all requirements of the national governing body. The Port Moresby Corporate Touts Association is slowly but surely picking up momentum again as the 2023 season moves into week 4. The games are being played at the Murray Barracks Oval on Sundays, with 16 corporate companies participating this year. For the past 4 Sundays, teams from the various corporate companies in NCD have been converging at the Murray Barracks Oval to participate in this year's Port Moresby Corporate Touts competition. Out of the 16 affiliated teams this year, 2022 reigning champions, On-Track Solutions and runners-up Funeral Homes are back again to set the pace for this year's campaign. Port Moresby Corporate Touts Association Director Jerry Borg said it's pleasing to see the interest of the game picking up again after a long break. The competition slowly got back on its 2 feet last year after COVID-19 and looking forward to go one better this year. Borg said they have teams competing in the seniors, masters, open divisions for both men and women and mixed as well.
We have seniors, masters, open men, open women, open mix. So masters are basically 40 plus, seniors 30 plus, and open is just anyone who is fit enough to run.
Borg said the main focus this year is the National Touts Championships in Popondetta Oro Province, where Port Moresby will be sending a strong contingent. They'll be bringing over 2 seniors and 4 open mixed teams. He said after the national titles, national selectors will announce the national squad for the upcoming Pacific Games in Solomon Islands at the end of the year and for the World Cup 2024, which will be held in the UK.
Yes, we're bringing over seniors, senior divisions, 3 open divisions, open mix, open men, and open women, and also senior mix too. So from there, they're gonna do like a final selection for the squad to represent PNG in the PNG South Pacific Games in Solomon Islands, as well as we also have World Cup in 2024 that will be held in England. Yeah.
The director said though Port Moresby might be the benchmark team at the national championships, they won't be taking any team lightly.
Well, everyone is, they see us as the benchmark, and they're going to come hard. So we're not going to take it as we don't want to underestimate anyone. We just want to go there and play and win games and maybe bring back the trophy. Okay. But we also have people from Queensland Pyre. PNG team in Queensland, they're coming over as well. Yeah, they're the PNG residents in Brisbane, so they're bringing a team over for this championship. So everyone is fighting for the sport in the national team. Okay.
PNG Football Association Secretariat have delivered 20 balls to Dago Primary School on Fisherman Island as part of outreach program to support Just Play program. Acting General Secretary Dan Kakaraya, while handing the balls over to Deputy Headmaster Simon Yemena, encourages the school children to partner with football in their education life. He told the youngsters that football can take you anywhere in the world if there is commitment. Manager Social Responsibility Christine Wamala said the Just Play program is tailored in a way to cater for players between the ages of 6 to 12 years old. She said it is a very good program and it will soon be rolled out on the island. Mr. Yamina thanked Mr. Kakaraya and PNGFA team for donating those soccer balls. He said soccer is one of the main sports played on the island. The 2023 edition of the annual Toti Cup soccer tournament has attracted a record 45 teams, an increase of 10 compared to last year's 35 teams. This has pushed the current tournament to an extra day of competition in Lae, Morobe province. The week-long 45-team tournament had to be extended to one more day given the increased participation compared to last year's 35 teams. Nonetheless, the 2023 Lae Biscuit Company-sponsored Toti Cup heads into the top of the ladder finals after Day 6 of the tournament at the LFA grounds today. Advancing to the semi-finals after the quarter-finals playoff is Finchafen FC defeating Karab FC 1-0, Peskol FC defeating Bulolo FC 1-0 as well, Medwest FC toppling Eriku Uncles 2-1, and Makamarafri FC mastered a 2-1 win against Sevo FC. The two semi-finals, which started at 11 a.m. today, was Finchafen FC versus Medwest FC of Medang, while defending champions Peskol FC of Lae keen to make it 2 in a row if they can put down the Makamarafri FC in the second semi-final. Both semi-final winners advanced to the Toti Cup Grand Final later on in the day. The eventual losers battle it out for the third and fourth placings. This is the fourth year running of the Toti Cup, proudly backed by Lae Biscuit Company in PNG, with teams coming from as far as Medang and Ramu and districts of Morobe, including Huon Gulf, Bulolo, Finchafen, Makam, and the rest from within Lae City. The tournament is a primary scouting avenue for the current 2022-2023 National Soccer Champions, Lae City FC. And that's all the sports for now. Mary, back to you.
Thank you, Terry. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water. Cough or sneeze into your elbow. And exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.